Mary J, and I'm the writer of Deception, which is my first novel. Just to give you a bit of background about myself, I have had a career as a tutor for English in sixth form colleges, and now I work as an education consultant. So I still have contact with young people, with their writing, advising them and assessing their creative writing. But my own published work so far had been limited to textbooks and writing articles for educational magazines. I wrote Deception because I really wanted to write with freedom and without the restrictions of instructions, plans and deadlines, except those that I had chosen for myself. Just to tell you a bit about the novel, Deception, it's a story about relationships. It's a story about trust, mistrust, betrayal. There is an underlying thread of intrigue that runs throughout it. I would describe the genre as one of psychological menace. What interests me are possibilities and the ambiguities in relationships, the things that lie below the surface that we can never really truly know about. When readers have talked to me about the book, they ask the same questions. They always ask, are the characters real people, or did they come from your life, or are the events things that have happened to you? And as I'm sure any writer would say, no, they're not. The characters aren't real people in any way. They're completely fictitious. They are blends, probably blends of characters, blends of different people, different personalities, different appearances. The events that happened are based on things that I've observed and seen and thought about, and that's how the whole thing comes together. The other big question that people like to know is, did you plan the whole thing out, and were you aware of what the ending was going to be before you got there? And that was the exciting thing I found about the freedom of novel writing, that I did have this narrative trajectory, and I had my characters, and once I'd created them, once they became real to me, I found that the really exciting thing was that they sort of took over, and then they decided the directions their lives were going to go in. So I had the immensely satisfying possibility of playing around with different narratives and different endings, and I didn't have to make that final decision until I felt that it was right for me. So those were the various things that influenced me in actually planning out my novel. And the other thing is a sense of place. I think it's really important to have characters in locations that you can visualise and get an idea of where they are and how they relate to their environment. I like them located in a definite and specific place and setting. So setting, characterisation, relationships are the most important things for me. Well, I really enjoyed my writing and publishing of Deception, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did.